Hi everyone. Forgive me, I haven't been making videos in a couple days. I just got back from Florida, and I was sick while I was down there, and I'm still sick now. I have a parasite. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow because they're trying to figure out what it is. They've put me on antibiotics and such, but basically quarantining myself. But while I was down in Florida with my healer, I did another book. The second book of Esdras from the Ethiopian Bible. Now, as the title indicates in this video, this is the 64th book that I have found this astrological pattern in. I mean, there's only so much that I could say about it at this point, but let's start going through this. So this is the second book of Esdras. So as usual, for you people who are new here, who haven't seen my other decodings, I'm going to explain this to you with the 12 signs. So the first sign I talk about is Aquarius, which is technically represented by the man with the water pitcher. Now, technically, Aries begins the year, but because I start with Aquarius, because it's kind of like the beginning of our new year, just to make it easier, I've gone over the story of Zeus and the young boy, which is the story of Aquarius. Zeus brought a boy up to heaven, bargained with the boy's father, and then the boy was serving everyone ambrosia. He got fed up with doing that, so he poured it out over the side of heaven, which caused a flood on earth. Zeus immortalized him as the constellation Aquarius, and that's where we get the story of Aquarius from. I'm sorry for such a crude version. Usually I have a longer, more elaborate version, but I'm not feeling too hot. But I did want to get this out there. So there's keywords: son of man, man, baptism. This is literally how you baptize someone. Water pitcher. This is a water pitcher. Fountain. Greek fountains, Greek statues were built like this. Stream, river, pond, lake, ocean, sea. Aquarius is an air sign in astrology. However, because there's water in it, the ancients encoded water meanings with Aquarius. Pisces is the sign of the two fish in the water. So again, two fish, stream, river, pond, lake, sea, ocean, things of that nature. Whether it's Aquarius water or Pisces water really depends on the patterns that it's going to make in the heavens, which you guys will see. If you're new to this. If you're not new to this, then just hang on for the ride, guys. Aries is the ram, and in Aries you have March 21st, which is the spring equinox. It's a 12-hour day, 12-hour night. It's also the Passover. There's 3 different Passovers that happen during Aries. The first is the oldest, which is the astrological Passover. That is the day on March 21st that the sun is going to literally rise above the equator and pass over the equator and start making its way to its height in the summer solstice. The Jewish Passover is the day that the angel of death passes over the Jewish households, and anyone that doesn't have the lamb or the ram's blood, again, the lamb is a baby ram, smeared on their doorpost, identifying them as the people of Aries so that God doesn't kill their firstborn son. In Christianity, the third Passover is changed and it becomes the resurrection of God's son. So whenever you're talking about ram or lamb or shepherd or ram's horn, you're talking about Aries. Then Taurus is the bull. And when you look at the sky and you see Taurus during the season where it's supposed to be, you know that you need to put the plow on the bull so that you can plant the seed so you can harvest in Virgo and Libra. So whenever you hear bull, ox, calf, or cow is the female bull, you're talking about Taurus. Gemini is the twins. It's the story of Castor and Pollux Troy, whose sister was Helen of Troy. It's the story of Achilles. So whenever you hear twins or brothers, you're talking about Gemini. Cancer is the crab, and it's the sideways moving creature. Just as the sun rises a degree on its axis starting on December 25th, every single day an additional degree, it stops rising on June 21st. Then for 3 days it rises to the same degree, hence moving sideways like the crab. On June 25th, it's going to lower a degree. The crab in the ancient Egyptian times was known as the scarab. So whenever you hear crab or beetle, you're talking about Cancer. Leo is the king. He's the lion. He's the king of the jungle or the king of the savannah, the desert, whatever you want to call it. The ruling planet of Leo is actually the sun. So whenever you're talking about lion, lioness, or cub, you're talking about Leo. Virgo is the woman holding the wheat stalk, as shown in this picture to the right. Remember before when we said that you plant in Taurus? Well, the virgins would cultivate the wheat in Virgo in order to make the bread for the year. So whenever you hear virgin, wheat, grain, seed, barley, corn, these are all grainy things that in the northern hemisphere, which is where all the ancient writings took place, were harvested around that time period. So after Virgo, we have Libra. Libra is the justice, and it's the scales, it's the balance, it's the just one. The reason it's the justice is because it's going to judge God's sun as it passes over the fall equinox and begins its descent into winter, into cold, into death. Remember the Passover, it's celebrated when it's going up. Here it's being judged and it's being sentenced going down because it's passing over the equator again on the solstices. On the equinoxes. Libra is also wine season, which is when you could plant for the grapes in Taurus. You could press the wine here. So all law-related things: law, judge, justice, the just one, divorce, marriage, court, wine, vineyard, wine press, olive oil, because olives are also pressed in Libra. So all law stuff, all wine stuff, grape stuff, and olive stuff take place in Libra. Scorpio is the scorpion. He is the betrayer. When a scorpion stings you, it leaves an imprint in your skin that looks like a pair of lips. It's why the mafia has the kiss of death. That's where that comes from. And it's why Jesus was betrayed by Judas with a kiss. So the sun is judged in Libra, and it's betrayed in Scorpio. Finally, in Sagittarius, this is where the bow and the arrow shoot the sun and inflict further punishment on the sun. This is where the sun dies. Why? Because on December 21st, the sun is at its lowest point. It cannot rise any lower. It's dead. It's the dead of winter. It remains at that lowest level for 3 days, which is why Jesus was dead for 3 days. When on December 25th, or the birth of God's Son, it rises another degree and starts to make its way back up to the top. So whenever you hear horse, bow and arrow, spear, or horseman, you're talking about Sagittarius. And finally, you have Capricorn, who's the goat, because the goat climbs the mountain. So if you look at the zodiac wheel on the right, Capricorn's all the way at the bottom. And what happens is the sun starts climbing 1 degree a day, going to the left on its way to its height in Cancer in the summer solstice. It starts to climb in Capricorn up the great mountain. So whenever you hear goat, kid, or even mountain, because the mountains belong to the goats, you're talking about Capricorn. Those are the 12 signs. So let's go right into it. 2 Ezra 19-20. So ye did eat angels' bread. When you were thirsty, did I not cleave the rock and waters flowed out to your fill? So the bread is Virgo and the waters come from Pisces. These are opposing signs. 2 Ezra 2:19-20. As many fountains flowing with milk and honey in 7 mighty mountains. Judge for the fatherless. Look for your shepherd. The fountains are Aquarius, literally. The milk comes from the Milky Way galaxies, which centers in Sagittarius. The honey comes from the Beehive cluster, which is in Cancer. Your land of milk and honey goes from the first day of Cancer, the summer solstice, to the first day of winter, the winter solstice. The mountains are for the goats, which are Capricorn. Capricorn and Cancer are opposing signs. However, Aquarius, Capricorn, Sagittarius to Cancer are 8 signs in a row. 8. Also, the judge takes place in Libra, which is already covered by milk and honey. The shepherd is Aries, which makes 9 signs total in these tiny passages. 9 signs out of 12. 2 Ezra 4:7. How great dwellings are in the midst of the sea, or how many springs are in the beginning of the deep, or how many springs are above the firmament. He has given a right to judgment, but why judgest thou not thyself also? The sea is Pisces, and the springs are Aquarius. The firmament divides the water from above, Aquarius, from the waters from below, Pisces. The judging takes place in Libra. I've made many videos about this, but the firmament is not a dome over a flat earth. It's not. The firmament divides the water from the waters. The water signs are Pisces and Aquarius. One is above, one is below. We're going to see another pattern like this later on. 2 Ezra 5:18. Give me one sec. Okay. 2 Ezra 5:18. Up then and eat bread, and forsake us not as the shepherd that leaveth the flock in the hands of cruel wolves. Thou hast chosen the only one vine, And of all the depth of the sea, thou hast filled thee one river. And of all the fowls that are created, thou hast named thee one dove. And of all the cattle that are made, thou hast provided thee one sheep. The bread is Virgo, the shepherd is Aries, the wolf in the constellation Lupus, which is on the Libra line. Libra and Aries are opposing signs. Libra and Virgo are connecting signs. The vine is Libra. The sea and the rivers are Aquarius and Pisces. Aquarius, Pisces, and Aries are 3 signs in a row. The dove is an evolution of the scorpion. We've discussed the phoenix and the eagle many times already, but there's 8 total evolutions. That's Scorpio. The cattle is Taurus. Taurus and Scorpio are opposing signs. Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and Taurus are 4 signs in a row. The sheep is Aries as well. 2 Ezra 6:41. Upon the second day thou madest the spirit of the firmament, and commandest it to depart asunder, and to make a division betwixt the waters, that the one part might go up, the other one remain beneath. So we've discussed this before. So what's more realistic? There's a dome over a flat earth that is separating an enormous body of water from the waters below. Or it's the Aquarius Pisces firmament story again. It's the same story. The waters above, the waters below. 2 Ezra 9:21. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster. Taste no flesh, drink no wine, but eat flowers only. For behold, I sow my law in you. When the ground hath received seed, or the sea a ship, the grape and wine is Libra, as is the law. The sea is Pisces. The receiving seed happens in Virgo. Remember, you plant in Taurus, and you receive your harvest in Virgo and Libra. Virgo and Pisces are opposing signs. And when I say you receive the seed, we're talking about all the grainy stuff that we mentioned before with Virgo. Virgo and Libra are connecting signs. The ship is the constellation Argo, which goes from Cancer to Scorpio. 2 Ezra 11. Then I saw a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle. And I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion chased out of the wood. For the earth hast thou not judged with truth. The eagle is Scorpio's ascendant, the lion is Leo, and the judgment is Libra. 2 Ezra 15:29. Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and dung of men under the camel's hoof. They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. The dragon is Draco. Draco goes from Aries to Sagittarius. It's not just its tail, it's the whole constellation. It's a third of the stars, which is why in Revelation they talk about the dragon's tail sweeping a third of the stars out of the sky. Well, of course, because the tail is 4 signs out of 12. That's a third of the stars. It's a metaphor. The chariot is Auriga, which is in Gemini, as is Camelopardalis, the camel leopard. We've gone over this. The bread is Virgo, and the water is Pisces. Pisces, Virgo are opposing signs. And then finally, this one, you might not be able to see this one because there's a lot in it. But 2 Ezra 16, may any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. And the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also. For strong is his right hand, that beneath the bow, his arrow that he shooteth as sharp. As in an orchard of olives, or as when a vineyard is gathered, the virgin shall mourn. The man is Aquarius, the sign of the man. The lion is Leo. These are opposing signs. It's the same story with Daniel and the lion's den. It's just 2 stories about opposing signs. The lion, Leo, and the man, Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign of the man. The arrow and the archer is Sagittarius. The waves of the fish are Pisces, the 2 fish. The bow and the arrows, again, are Sagittarius. Olives and vineyard are both Libra. The virgins are Virgo. Virgo and Pisces are opposing signs. Virgo and Libra are connecting signs. So guys, I just wanted to share that with you. I'm going to keep coming up with more books. At this point, it's inevitable that any book that I find um, within this time frame, within these kind of stories, um, will show these kind of patterns and everything. And what it does do is it maps out the heavens. It's star poetry. That's what this is. They're clever ways of anthropomorphizing stories so that it can paint a picture of the heavens, because the heavens declare the glory of God. And that is how you worship. You worship the sun, you worship the stars. You don't physically have to worship when I say that, but that's where they put all their work in. They would be blown away if people took this literally now. They would be blown away, these writers. This was never meant to be taken literally. So thank you guys. Hopefully, I'll feel better soon, and I'll talk to you later.